This, as I've been saying, is what we've been waiting for with Black Clover. It has taken this long to finally get these episodes that we want delivered to us, and I would pretty comfortably say that this is easily the best episode that we've had of the series, or at least one of the top 3 that we've had. Although that is saying, is this the best episode of what I've seen this season? That is clearly like a no on there. I think there have been other stuff that has been way much more clear winners on there, but the amount of striking shit that they did with Yami and Leech throughout this entire episode was great. They did some of my favorite moments with Asta as well on there. That one tiny little thing I can mention is, like, of course, one of my favorite panels is just the bit where it's like, wait, what? You're gonna throw both blades away like that? It's like, I love the whole spinning effect on it, but the actual panel itself was like super quick, like frame by frame. I'm like, oh, I wish they just spent a little bit more time on that. There, you know, at the end of the day, it's nitpicks and things I've already said. So let's just talk about how majority of this episode is Leet and Yami just going at each other, and the scenes that they added that wasn't in the manga was fucking fantastic for this episode. So we finally get to see a lot more about like why these two are the complete like opposites for the most part, because we get to see that although light magic is pretty fast and sublime, and like you see with like how Leet's using it, he is doing some insane amount of stuff with this. Yami is able to actually absorb the light, although it's very slow. He used this into his development, whereas like I can actually use the power of the dark magic by coating it into my blade, not just by firing it as attack. So he's using it compared to his own attack. So he's like, I can use it as like a shell, I can use it as like a little slash and all that, but my most effective combat. So it's like, you can tell that like, regardless that this, what they're also going with Yami is like, this is pretty much an older Asta if he like actually had magic. This is sort of what he would have in the sort of like same parallel skill. There was some really great moments on there, like a bit where Yami and Leet were going at each other, and there was one, like there are some moments that you see with like some of the stuff that Leet was doing, and I'm especially talking about like one moment, if I mention it, it would be like a particular spoiler, but when he starts like having that close quarters battle with him, when they're supposed to start going slashing out each other on there, like there is a moment there where I was like, that's actually a really cool little nod for later on in the series, that when we find out more about these characters. I'm like, that is cool. And like some of the stuff that they were saying about each other was like, you've clearly got a grimoire from here, like you were clearly a citizen, so it's like, why the hell are you so against the country? And it's like, you see more and more as he's just talking about it. It's just like, not only what happened to his people, but he's like, he's seeing like, you know, how it is for the rich and the poor and like the class divide. It's like, no matter what, if you have high magic, it's like, this is just how much a scum these people are. And that has been the theme for like generally every kind of antagonist like from the series we've been seeing, is that they've been from the other side of it. And now we're finally seeing a villain that's like, no, this system that you have got is corrupt, is messed up, but has got his own twisted ideals on dealing with this. And I like that, like, you're having this entire fight go down whilst these two are just having lightsaber fights for the most part, and just whips and lightning. And it's like, it is the thing that stole this episode for me, where it's like, it had some really great choreography for the Army and Elite parts. It was really great. Again, I kind of wish that some of it was like, I wish there was better music accompanying it. Some of these tracks, I felt like that was the biggest, weakest part of it. As I've said with the series multiple times, it's like, when you have such high delivery stuff, which was like, I was hoping that we were going from this, like, from the start with like the first episode of this, like, but no, they saved it for this, when they're like jumping up block to block, like slashing down. It's like, these two, like, it's like, this is what it is when Yami cuts loose. This is what happens when it's like, you're seeing two people of like parallel skill. And then you see Asta's side of this, where it's like, he's dealing with the spatial magic user, and he's like, I can barely deal with this guy. And the fact that he was only able to beat him because, and you see this as a theme with both Elite and also as well with the Valtros, or whatever the fuck the dude's name is, where it's like, he got cocky. Same thing with Leet. They got cocky, and they, like, Yami used his, like, these times as his advantage, and Asta knew that, like, Valtros was get cocky if he took a couple of hits, and he swung the blades through both of them out. He's like, you're an idiot. What the hell are you trying to do? Let me try and add an extra power attack to it. And he jumps through the portal and punches the living shit out of this piece of shit. And I'm like, that's one way of dealing with it. And to the fact where it's like, alright, Lee is like, alright, that's enough games now. Let me unleash my highest form of magic, which is this, what is best to be described as a light nuke. He's like pretty much going to be disintegrating everything. He's like, I don't care if you two die. All I need, like, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, all that's going to be left are your swords and your grimoire, and that needs to be returned to me anyway. Like, the way how he's always keeps addressing it is like, that does not belong to you. That never does. So, like, clearly we've got Salvo as well, where it's like, we now know that there's more going on with the grimoire now, where it's like, you know, what the hell is up with this Clover, like with this 5-leaf Clover grimoire that Asta has, and it's like, when he talks about it's like it belongs to him, what he does. There were some great little bits of like actual great bits of animation. I'll say like the Yami part stole the episode for me, but definitely there was like one bit with Asta when he was like fighting against all the lasers. Like he had this amazing moment of like he was flipping, he was like using these blades really cool. Or it's like, this is what I wanted to see. This is like what some of the panels were like portraying to me, is that like how fast and actually how strong Asta was, where like it was almost like really reminded me of the final boss of Kingdom Hearts 2. If people know what I'm fucking talking about, going back here with when Sora and Riku are going against Xemnas, and they're like, there are lasers everywhere and they're flinging about and they're just going apeshit. That's what it was for me when I'm looking at Asta. I'm like, what does this remind me of? And it's like, as he's going around, I was like, I fucking dig this. And it's just, it is Asta spinning around. It's like, it really reminds me of that. And I was like, that's especially how it was. And like, honestly, I felt like this did this way better than like than the manga did. And I really like this stuff in the manga. And I was like, it did some of that stuff like so much better on there, like when it was, especially when he went in, this really hand drawn, like gritty, like art style that he did when he punched, like went in and punched him. I was like, that's what we want to see. And like, still, like, again, like, I think if anything, if I could mention the critique for this episode, was just the music. The music to me is still not great for the most part. And like, when we even saw the part, like, I didn't even mind like the fact at the end of this episode and all that we got to see fucking Mirror Boy again. Like, I'm honestly fine, like, with Gauch, like, at that point, I was like, sure, whatever, get your, like, find a little bit of clarity with the sister and everything, get her on there, because the rest of the episode doing so well, and the fact that it's like, Yami was riding on pretty much everything for, like, this, that, he was like, oh, I'm so screwed at the moment. And there was a funny moment, like, when, like, Yami was realizing that, like, oh, what the hell am I gonna do against this situation? Oh, I'll leave that to me in the next 5 seconds. Like, just stuff like that. Where it's like, you can tell this is why Yami's, like, like, the favorite character of the series. He's the one that's always been, like, the higher rank than fucking Aster, and you know, it's like, people like Yami a lot, and it's like, this is the part where it's like, no, we need to remind people this is why people like him a lot, because he does stuff like this. It's his attitude, and then it's like, he's not just talking shit. He is an actual, like, good fighter, and also gives some good advice sometimes. So when Gauch arrives with Finral and they reflect the explosion back at him, it's like, alright, Leet's in a little bit of trouble now. Like, he actually took a severe blast from that. And with the teaser at the end, we get to see a little bit of, like, I mean, you guys can tell, they're in the opening, it's the fucking third eye. We get to see them. Even the preview is called Third Eye. It's like, yeah, I wonder who these guys, these 3 people, even we mentioned them before in the, like, in the anime as well. I was like, I wonder who these people are. And it's like, they're the fucking Third Eye. And you could see, and I was like, and this is the first time we've got to hear it, like, voice actor wise. I know, obviously, we've heard one of them before on there, especially in the case of me with Fana, but I really like Vito, and I really like Raya. I thought, like, I know Raya is based off the voice actor, like, that was a whole story where it's like, no, he was based off a famous voice actor / actor, and now he's doing that role, and I'm like, oh, that's good. No, he actually sounds really good as him, and like, Vito sounds how he does and all that. Fana sounds exactly how I was imagining. Like, they all sound fucking great, like, on there, so definitely what I was kind of expecting for them. Also, we're going to be hearing them a little bit more in the next week's episode, but this one really did deliver. Like, I'm really happy with these episodes. It's like, again, it's like this arc is like, it starts off so fucking, like, it starts off like probably the worst out of all of them, and then it just really just has this high just raise where it's like, no, this is going really good now, this is great stuff, and now look, we're gonna have to like go and deal with this. So it's like, overall, like, yeah, like, I think it's safe to say and all that, like, it was a great episode. The army part was definitely the best part of the episode. Asta's one, like, had some really great moments on there. It was just the animation for this episode was really great. The one exception was probably Asta when he just like sliced and you saw just the effect go around. I was like, oh come on, that bit looked a little, we've seen that before, that looks a little later, but the rest of it was superb, and it was like, they've been saving up for this. And yeah, no, I cannot wait for more. I really cannot wait for more, how they're going to conclude now, especially we're going to be getting some more characters introduced, and just give me more Clover at this point. That's just what I need and all that. I just cannot wait for more. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you guys though next time.